A 15-year-old beat a chess grandmaster, Wesley So, at the U.S. Chess Championship of 2022. And we're going to be going over that game right now. Before we go over that game, we're going to have to go over some details. Let me look at my laptop right quick. All right. Like I dang, I gotta clear my throat. Like I said before, this was at the U.S. Chess Championship of 2022 in St. Louis. Yep, that is right. It was in St. Louis. Got that correct. The black pieces is Christopher Yu, and his rating at the time was 2563, and Wesley So was the white pieces, and his rating at the time was 2774. And this was played October 6th of 2022. Let's get started. So the first few moves played off like this: e4, e5, knight f3, knight f6. We got the Russian game or the Petrov defense, wherever you want to call it. We got knight takes on e5, Wesley So played, d6, knight f3, knight takes on e4, d4, d5, bishop d3, bishop d6, and these moves are pretty standard. This is the theory of the Petrov defense. And then the next moves that we got here, we got kingside castle by Christopher Yu, c4, and then c6. Then after the move c6, we got rook e1, bishop f5, queen b3, and then after queen b3, we got this simple move, queen d7. We're still developing pieces, we still in theory, so let's just get through it right quick. After the move queen d7, Wesley So decided to go along with the game. It's like a few games, c5, bishop c7, and then after bishop c7, Wesley So was like, let's get out of theory. Let me try to test your young brain right quick, and let's just do a move, queen c2. And it's nothing special, but this move is not in the database. This is a new move based on master standards. I'm not talking about online games. But in the meantime, Christopher Yu was like, all right, that's fine. I'm just gonna play knight a6, develop my pieces still, do the right moves. And then Wesley So was like, I see your plan, going to knight b4, trying to attack my queen, but that's not gonna work. And then +2, my pawns is kind of aiming at the queen side, and I was gonna already push these pawns anyway, but this is just an extra bonus because I'm an elite grandmaster. And that's how Wesley So thinks, because, you know, why not? I just be inside these grandmasters' minds. You know, you be thinking like this. Okay, after a3 was played, Christopher Yu was like, okay, I'm gonna have to come up with a plan. This is not the opening anymore. We're not just developing pieces anymore. Yes, I have a trash knight on the a6 square, but it could be better sometime soon. So what can I do now so that I can put threats in white's position? And so what black decided to do was, and Christopher Yu decided to do, was do a simple move, bishop g6. And you might not be understanding this move so far, but in the next turn, you're gonna understand why this was played. Because after bishop g6, we got the move by Wesley So, still developing pieces, knight c3. And Christopher Yu is kinda done developing, actually more development than Wesley So at the moment, since his bishop isn't developed. But these positions are so closed where I don't know if it's gonna hurt Wesley So, but I guess we're gonna find out. This queen was moved a couple more times than his opponent's queen. In this moment, Christopher Yu decided to do f5. What's the point of f5? Well, definitely you gotta anchor on the e4 square. And yes, we're creating plans now. You don't know what's gonna happen. We could rook lift, we could bring the queens over. I mean, black's pawns are kind of aiming towards the king side. Let's figure out what Christopher Yu is trying to do to overwhelm the elite grandmaster that's been playing way longer than him, right? After f5, Wesley So was like, that's no big deal. I'm just gonna do knight e2, reroute my knight to a better square. And after knight e2, we got the move bishop h5, knight g3, attacking the knight, attacking the pawn, attacking the bishop. And pretty much Wesley So dared black to take this knight on f3. Wasn't that the point of bishop h5, to take the knight on f3? And then Christopher Yu was like, on second thought, I'm fine. I'm just gonna go back. Because if you take the knight, I get double pawns, but I'm gonna kick your knight out this perfect square on the e4 square, and then I might even be better, even though I have a terrible pawn structure. And these are the concessions that grandmasters make all the time, and that's why Christopher Yu is like, yeah, I believe you. I'm cool. I'll just go back. After the move bishop g6, these moves were repeated. Knight e2, bishop h5, knight g3, bishop g6, and grandmasters repeat moves just to get to the 40 move mark. They want to get more time after the 40 move mark, and I think in this tournament you get an extra 30 minutes with I think a 30-second increment. I might be wrong, so don't quote me on that. But anyway, after repeating moves, again, bishop g6, we got the move b4 because Wesley So doesn't want to lose to somebody that's still 2,500. He doesn't want to lose rating points. I mean, he doesn't want to draw against somebody that's 2,500. He doesn't want to lose rating points. And in that moment, like I said before, Wesley So is 2774. He should be winning this game very easily. And so he went for it by doing b4. And after b4, rook a, e8, on those files, on the E and the F file, all right? So we're getting some tension. We got all the pieces ready to attack, and Christopher Yu is just trying to figure out some ways to do so. And especially after this inaccuracy, bishop b2. Why is this an inaccuracy by Wesley So? I don't know why the chess engine says that this is an inaccuracy. They would have rather seen the move rook b1. And I'm thinking that I'm thinking the chess engine is just seeing how useless this bishop is, and it's probably in the way since you want to do moves like a4, b5, etc. I know you can't do a4 right now, but if you would have did rook b1, then you would have did moves like a4, b5 a lot sooner. But I don't think that's Wesley So's plan at the moment. It's only an inaccuracy. Doesn't mean that he's losing, doesn't mean that Christopher Yu has a winning position, maybe a small one, but not that much. You still got to convert it. And converting a winning position is hard, especially against an elite grandmaster, all right? After the move bishop b2, then we got Yu doing an inaccuracy too. We got Yu doing an inaccuracy too by doing rook e6, which I don't know. It was probably a better move. What is the computer saying? A better move to do moves like queen d8. Here's the thing. You can't just base it all off the computer because queen d8 doesn't seem like a good move. I mean, it probably is a good move because you give your queen a little bit more space on this h4 to d8 diagonal. But what human is going to think about a move like queen d8? No, I want to attack. I want to rook lift, maybe move this bishop, move this rook to this side of the board and try to attack you because I got tempos like f4 to think about. I can take your knight. I can reroute this knight somewhere else. I don't know. We got other plans to do than be going back with queen d8. Come on, there has to be something better. And rook e6 was played. After rook e6 was played, we got knight e2. We got knight e2, queen e7. Look, see, he took this diagonal on the next move, not going to queen d8, but queen e7. Probably could have done this sooner, I guess. And, you know, hey, the computers are very accurate, but no human would have did queen d8 right off the bat. Maybe Magnus Carlsen because he's not human. But anyway, queen e7, knight e5, and then knight takes on g6. Wait a minute. Did I mess up? I didn't mean to. No, f4 first, and then knight takes on g6. The first capture of the position by Wesley So decided to take that bishop off and get that 2-bishop advantage. But the only thing is about taking this bishop is that was your active piece. And your bishop isn't doing so well. This bishop is caged up behind your pawns. And that's why you should be very strategic about where you put your pawns and like what color bishop that you have. After this bishop was taken on the g6 square, Black decided to take this knight on g6. And now we're on the same file of the king on the G1 square, which is very scary, especially when you got moves like F3 coming in the way. And that's why Wesley So just did a simple move like F3. F3, attacking a knight, and pretty much the whole plan is to bump the knight and have a good game. And actually, this knight is pinned to the rook right now. That's why Christopher Yu saw this ahead of time and decided to do a move, Queen H4. And Wesley So was like, I'm not taking your pawn because you got threats like F3 still on the way. That's why I'm just going to move this knight to C3 and ignore that threat. White is still winning in this position, even though black is attacking Wesley So right now. Rook H6 was played next, targeting the H pawn. White is still winning right now in this position, and that's why you got to be really good at your defensive skills, because the chess engine is still giving white a 1.6 advantage. You know what advantage that is? That's pretty much giving white a winning position in Grandmaster terms. But Christopher Yu, a 15-year-old, is attacking Wesley So relentlessly, and that's how you have to beat Grandmasters. Don't be afraid to attack your opponent. Don't be in fear of thinking that your opponent is calculating more moves than you. No, you have to be fearless. Get the courage to attack your opponent. Don't be believing these chess edges. Don't be basing off your moves on being as accurate as possible when your opponent can't deal with this. Realizing that this is nothing on the chess engine is different from realizing it on an actual chess board when you don't know the evaluation. So seeing this as a human, I'm like, oh crap, I don't know what's going on right now. So Wesley So got scared. An elite Grandmaster. And why am I saying that he got scared? Because he played the move H3. And after this move, the whole evaluation switched. All it takes is one move for the whole evaluation to switch and say that Wesley So made a mistake, because the correct move to play in this scenario was just taking the knight. Let them have the pawn. It's some crazy scenario, I know, but this is how ruthless that you have to be in Grandmaster and to defend accurately. And so after knight takes on E4, queen takes on H2, king F1. Let me show those moves on the board right quick. Knight takes on E4, queen takes on H2, king F1, D takes on E4, bishop takes on E4. Then they're saying moves like that Christopher, you have to find bishop D8. And then you have to be in this crazy position. This was accurate. H3 was not. I don't know who would have found this, but hey, the game of chess is very ruthless. After the move H3, then, there's another weakness. And now these dark squares are really bad. They're really bad. Like the not H3, the G3, H2, and F2 squares are really bad. If this queen wasn't here, then I would already have a check on the F2 square. What was the next move that was played here? The next move that was played in this position was knight G5. What's the purpose of knight G5? You should already know the purpose of that. Like, seriously, look at this position. This knight moved, is not being attacked by any of these pieces anymore, and this knight is attacking the F3 and H3 pawns. So you already know what that means. Usually when you're attacking your opponent, you have to realize, is it going to be a pawn storm attack, or you're going to sacrifice pieces to do a piece attack? And that's what Christopher Yu is planning. Knight takes on F3 and knight takes on H3. Think about those moves, Wesley So. I don't care if you're a grandmaster. I don't care if you have more experience. I don't care if you're dang near 30 and I'm 15 with limited experience on life. I'm gonna attack you. You're not gonna survive. You're not. This is my villain origin story. I'm gonna beat your tail. And that's the type of fighting spirit that you need in chess. After knight g5, Wesley So decided to do a move, queen f2, queen h5, and then what's the other moves right quick? We got b5, we got b5, and then knight b8, okay? After knight b8, then we got the move a4, and then the random move, bishop d8. Actually, it's not a random move, because if this knight moves, now you're preparing to get this bishop on the h4 square, and you're attacking the queen. You're basically x-raying a skewer right here. So bishop d8 is a smart move, and b5 is fine because I know it's completely equal at this moment, but Christopher Yu is probably like, I was planning on moving this knight over here anyway. I didn't want this knight to be on a6. Thank you. I realized that. And you can't even take this pawn because you will be allowing my knight to come back in the game. Even though knight takes d5 at the moment, you can't just recapture with the knight. I get it. But hey, actually you might can. Let me see. So if you see b takes on c6, knight takes on c6, if knight takes on d5, you might can have a check over here and take the knight back. But you know, it's defended indirectly, and that's what moves keep on coming through your head as you have a attacking position. And that's moves that Wesley So gonna have to defend against. This is a lot of firepower. Is Wesley So is he gonna do something about this? Is he gonna break it up? He already tried to do a queen trade, which if you're attacking, you reject it. What's gonna happen here? After bishop d8 was played, Wesley So played rook e2, queen f7, and then Wesley So blundered by doing king f1, trying to run away because we're all human. This is an attack that we don't want to deal with. And so running to the queen side might be a good idea, or at least getting off the g file, getting away from all the checks by the knight. That's a good idea to do. That's a human instinct. But by the computer, it's like, nah, you did wrong, because now doing king f1, you're minus 1.7. So if black, Christopher Yu, plays all the correct moves, he could definitely convert this game to a win now. And after king f1, then we got the move that was played, knight to d7, a5, and then after a5, we got the first sacrifice. Knight takes on h3. Then Wesley So was like, oh, okay, let's go along for this ride. G takes on h3. And then after G takes on h3, we got rook takes on h3. We got checks to do here. And we got the queen coming in. We got the second knight coming in. What is going on here? Can Wesley So survive this? It seems like Christopher Yu doesn't have much of an attack, since this is the only piece that's over here right now. But this bishop can slide over here very quickly. This queen can come over here really quickly. This knight is like 2 moves away. What's gonna happen here? The computer is giving black negative 1.9 right now. So he hasn't did a wrong move yet. After queen g2, we got the move queen h5, attacking this f3 pawn now and threatening rook h1 again. Or maybe after you go rook h1, you can go up to rook h2, pinning the queen. There's so many attacking possibilities in this position. I would not want to defend this. This is horrible. And after queen h5, we got the move rook f2, just planning on maybe getting away, running away, because if we can get the king to run away, then maybe, just maybe, I can have a winning position. And that's what I would be thinking if I was Wesley So. That's what I would be thinking. After rook f2, we got the move. What's the move? What's the move? We got rook g3. Ew. using this F pawn that we pushed a long time ago. Remember when we did that weird move, bishop g6, and then pushed up the F pawn? And now this F pawn is coming in clutch by going to rook g3. The awesome attacking power of every piece coming into action is amazing. After rook g3, Wesley So was like, that's nothing, and did queen h2. Christopher Yu was like, okay. Rook h3 again, my bad. And then Wesley So was like, I don't really mind a draw at this moment. And then Christopher Yu was like, okay, now your king cannot escape my wrath. All right. Now I'm definitely planning on to check your king, and maybe, just maybe, you can let me get a checkmate and I can get my first checkmate on an elite grandmaster. I don't know. That would be pretty good, because my next go after you is to beat Magnus Carlsen. That's my next go. That's my next go. And after rook e8, we got the move knight e2, bring more pieces on the defense. And after knight e2, we got rook e3. Just putting more pressure on white's position, and definitely trying to take this pawn when the time is right, and definitely threatening this bishop. Because why not capture a free piece at the moment while you're attacking? I don't need to checkmate your king after attack. All I need is a winning position after this attack. And after rook e3, we got the massive blunder, rook a3. It looks ugly. I know. It looks ugly. And the computer did not like it either. And actually, they think that Christopher Yu messed up at this moment for doing rook h1, when the best move was just to do bishop takes on a5. I guess that was a free pawn, but no. We're not gonna let the computer tell us what's the best move at this moment. Who would do bishop takes on a5 when we have a whole attack that's going on here? So no, we're doing check on the first rank. We're checking the king, and white is gonna have to figure out how to defend. Are we gonna do knight g1? Are we gonna do queen g1? I would much rather that one. Honestly, then I could do queen h3 and get a free queen out of it. That would be beautiful, right? That would be cool. After rook h1, we got knight g1, knight f6, bringing all the pieces to the game. All the white pieces are pretty much trapped in this little position and are very passive. Christopher Yu has all the play right now, even though that this move right here, it wasn't really a good one. I'm not gonna lie. And I'm not gonna show you what was the best move, because on principle, you wanna bring more pieces into the game. And actually, what's the best move, honestly? Knight takes a5 was the best move again. No, we're not doing knight takes a5. Bishop c1, attacking the rook. And now this is back a bad position because the computer can't make their mind up yet. After bishop c1, we got queen h4, just creeping in into white's position right now. There is a deeper plan, and we're gonna find that out pretty soon. And bishop takes rook right here on the e3 square. F takes on e3. Do you really want this pawn to just be a passed pawn and dang near promoting? Do you want that in your life? No, I don't think so. Nobody wants that in their life. And this knight is going to be going into h5 to g3 pretty soon, since this queen moved. And that's why these little subtle moves, you got to keep in mind. These grandmasters know what they're doing. After Christopher Yu played queen h4, you triggered Wesley So trap. After Christopher Yu played queen h4, you triggered Wesley So trap card. I'm gonna take this rook, right? You're gonna take that bishop back. I'm gonna sacrifice my bishop since I'm already up in material by taking your rook. And I'm gonna take back, and you're gonna take back with whatever piece. And then I'm gonna take back with the rook. And now I have activity, I got more air, it's clean out here. And even if you do this queen b1 check, it's still nothing compared to what I'm gonna do to you on this G file and E file. And Christopher Yu was like, I'm just gonna play bishop c7. Not the most accurate move, of course. The chess engine is always against me, but maybe this bishop being on this diagonal could be pretty useful. And so Wesley So played the move rook e7 at this moment, which is a big blunder. Yes, the computer wanted you to play knight h5, then queen b1, but Christopher Yu decided to play queen b1 right away. After queen b1 was played in this position, Wesley So played rook e1, defending. And after queen d3, Christopher Yu played, Wesley So played rook e2, rook f e2. And now this rook is pinned on this diagonal to the king. After seeing this position, Christopher Yu was like, rook h2 sounds like a good move. And I'm completely winning. This is a completely winning position for the black pieces, especially when there's moves like queen g5, which doesn't do anything at all. You're just going to have to accept the fact that all these pieces are attacking the e2 pawn, and then all of Christopher Yu's pieces, this bishop, this knight, this queen, this rook, are perfect. This knight is trapped here. There's no safe squares. This rook can't go anywhere that is useful. This rook literally can't go anywhere. And then after the move, knight h5, threatening knight g3, check, bishop defending the knight, and there's no way to get out of that check. So this queen would have to sacrifice themselves. Wesley So decided to resign in this position because it was too much orchestrated. It was like it was orchestrated by a pianist. You know, this was too much. This is the problem with being on the defense side in chess games. And it's more fun to be on the attacking side if you know what you're doing, if you know what mating nets that you have to accomplish in a chess position. That's why I have a whole playlist on checkmate patterns. That's why I have a whole playlist on all tactics, so that you can play like Christopher Yu and beat a grandmaster like a 15-year-old. Be fearless, man. You got a young Magnus Carlsen on the way.